Hey guys, just came back from my 10-hour black sea bass trip. Um, I was able to catch about 5 black sea bass and what is it, 1 lingcod is what I caught, a keeper, about maybe 12 inches long lingcod off of Delaware, Atlantic Sea. I went to Fisherman's Wharf. They have a Thelma or something like that. Thelma Dell, I think, 4 or whatever it is. If you look up Fisherman's Wharf, there's a 8-hour trip, 10-hour trip. I took a 10-hour trip with my daughter and my sister who was visiting from California. So it was their first trip. I had my sister use this one. This is one of my favorite reels here. It's called Super Duty from Lewes. It normally costs about $160, but I spent on sale on Amazon, brand new one, for about $119 or so. Plus, anytime you buy a Lewes reel, there's this gift that you could claim that you send, just shipping and handling. I think it's like $5 or something like that, and you could get a hoodie sweater, loose hoodie sweater, shirt, gloves or hats, or all kinds of accessories. Their brand accessories for free, pretty much. So I highly recommend it. This Lewes Super Duty is about, I think it's like 22 pounds drag. And what I like about it is it's made in Korea. And again, I like reels or rods that are made in Korea or Japan. They have a pretty high standard of fishing. The people that make it, the factories that make it, they have a pretty good, very high quality control. And this is one of them that I really like. This is a loose, it's called Super Duty 300, and it's a 7 bearing. And I've been using this for about a year on saltwater. I really like it. It has this hook keeper as well, where you could put your hook on while you're fishing. You know, it's, you guys, if you fish for a while, you know it's hard to keep your hook somewhere in place, so it comes with it. And then this nice little handle, right? I think it's a Win handle. It's well made, it's not flimsy. Nice wide paddle handle. And I love this drag clicker. So what it does is, anytime you're reeling it in, you know the fish is coming, right? But if the fish is fighting, or if it's big, or if you're on the bottom, it makes this clicking sound right here. So this is when you know, it tells you that the fish, this reel, isn't reeling in anymore. There's either you're stuck in the bottom, or there's a drag issue. So, well, not the drag issue, it's telling you there's a bigger fish, or it's stuck in the bottom. So anyways, you know when the fish is coming up, and you know when it's not coming up, or it's pulling the drag. So I really like this. It's a it's also, what is it, 7.2 to 1 ratio. And again, that only means this one spin pretty much is equivalent to this thing, your spool, turning 7 times. So look, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess that's basically what it means. But I like it. Like I said, I've used it in a saltwater for quite a while, and I've had no issue with the bearing. I checked the bearing. There was no saltwater corrosion issue or anything like that. It's very good reel, and powerful reel. Fits well in your hand, and it feels nice. And I love the color and how big it is. It's not the lightest reel, but it's a pretty good, strong reel. Got this clicking sound right here. See, clicker here, and a drag clicker. I wish more reels had this drag clicker. And I found this on a sale for another $100, so I bought this because I love this Lewes Super Duty reel. I think these are 2 of 3 Lewes I have for saltwater fishing. And again, this power handle, I really like it. And this is the reel that I let my daughter use. Again, with the power handle. With the pedal, it's not, if you're not used to it, it's not easy for most people fishing. If you're first time fisherman fishing on a deep sea fishing boat, I recommend having a power handle, especially if you're a child or someone new to fishing, or you have a weak arm or wrist. This will help you a lot. This again, this is called Cremon. It's a Korean brand that I bought when I lived in Korea, made in Korea. I think it was about $130. Comes with 2 handle, like in Korea, when you buy something, you get what's worth, what it's worth. So you get this power handle, plus it comes with one of these paddle handle too for saltwater. So it's nice. Again, this has, I guess it must be some kind of a Korea thing, but it has a drag clicker. So if the fish is coming in, right, silent, but this means it's the fish is pulling the drag, pulling the spool, the line, and it's running away, fighting back. And then, so this is how you know, kind of, when you're catching something, you have no idea what's going on. You're excited, adrenaline flowing, you're pulling it. So this helps you to realize, hey, oh, it's not coming up. Then you gotta set your drag tighter if you need to. But I recommend never setting your, yeah. Speaking of drag, right, I think a lot of people freak out once they catch a fish. They start tightening the drag, and then what happens when you tighten it? The line doesn't go out more, and the line snaps. I don't know why people do it. You're supposed to set your drag before you go fishing, right? You're supposed to, well, before you drop your rigs or jigs down, you should be setting that ahead of time. You just keep it that way. See way too many people getting excited or start like locking it. It's like the whole point of having a drag, whether it's a 19-pound, 22-pound drag, right, when you hear it, is for the fish to pull. You know, it's like tug of war. You know, how do you play tug of war? You don't just pull, right? You either run out of energy and you lose, or it's gonna snap, and that's what happens. Drag is for the fish to take the line, but using its energy. So once it in between, it gets tired and stops, and then you slowly bring him in. That's all you need to do. It's supposed to go. Line is supposed to go out. Okay, it's supposed to go out. So don't mess with it. Don't start doing this and freaking out, and then watch the line snap, because the line's gonna snap unless you're using 50-pound line. I use about anywhere between 15 and 18 pounds for most fishing. That's all you need. But yeah, I love this drag sound, drag clicker. This has a drag clicker. Let's see, Cremon. Supposedly Cremon makes a lot of reels for other country brands. If you know which brand they make for American reels, leave a comment below. But yeah, they're a pretty popular company in Korea. Yeah, people, and we're talking about Koreans that use Shimano and Daiwa reels and rods that cost in the range of $400 to $600, and they a lot of those fishermen also use these Cremon brands. That tells you something, right? That's a good quality reel. But my daughter didn't have any trouble using this. My sister definitely had issue with this one. So the paddle could be a little bit difficult for people that are not used to using a paddle handle. But yeah, again, this power handle, my daughter didn't have any issue. Speaking of, you know, these are all braid lines that I put in, and my daughter had no trouble hooking it and reeling it in. And I think she caught more fish than some people that were on the boat. And yeah, like something that really bothered me was there was a bunch of group of people, pretty loud, next to us fishing, and you know, they had a spinning reel, and nothing wrong with spinning reel. I have a couple pen spinning reel, but they put mono on it. They sounded like they've been fishing for a while, bragging to each other about how they fished in 300 feet deep sea fishing and all that. But spinning reel with mono, I think they put, like, I could tell there were at least 40 to 50 pound mono line on their spinning reel, and you know, they didn't catch. I think my daughter caught more fish than they did total. And that's because when you're using a mono reel, it has a memory, right? So what it does is it's gonna get tangled with everybody, and that's exactly what happened. They were tangling with each other, they're tangling with our line, they're tangling with people on the other side of the boat underneath. Yeah, it's like, you gotta understand. I felt bad for the deckhand. Those guys were looking at them like, why are you using mono? You know, I fished in Korea, and if you're using mono line, they won't even let you in the boat, or they'll take your reel away and give you a rental one with braid. It's like, you know, braid it cuts through the ocean water a lot better, and when it gets wet and it has better tension, it doesn't have a memory, right? See, it doesn't have a memory. It's straight line, so when it drops, it'll stay like this. You know, if you got mono, what it does is it has a memory, right? So like any plastic, it's just gonna stay in this little springy form, and what it does is it's gonna get tangled with other lines. It's gonna be loose. It won't cut through the water as well as braid, and it's just gonna float, right? Yeah, unless you put like a 10-ounce, which that was another issue. It was a deep water, and these guys were using, I could tell, like 2-ounce together, so they had like 4 ounces of weight on their mono line, like 50-pound mono line, and that thing was just not hitting the bottom, and those guys had trouble filling the bottom. I could tell they're not even, once they drop the weight, they weren't even checking to feel the bottom. They just let it drag, and you could see the mono line just floating on top of the water, and this guy's just letting it go and go, and I'm like, his line is coming to our line and crossing over with a bunch of the line as the boat was drifting. It was kind of annoying. I asked the guy politely to like pull the line up, like you're letting the line out too much, and he acted like, oh, you know, what are you talking about? But it was a little bit annoying. One of the reasons I don't fish on Saturdays, where people come out there with, like, people that have, some of them, not all of them, but a lot of people are first-time fishermen or have no clue. Like, listen to the captain, listen to the deckhand. They know. I didn't make this up. I learned it from them. But yeah, overall, other than lines tangling, my daughter really enjoyed it, and she had no problem pulling up black sea bass, a large black sea bass. She pulled up like 2 black sea bass on a double rig, and I think I put her on 8-ounce sinker, and again, she was able to pull it up without a problem. So, and she's only 8 years old using this, so power handle really helped. And finally, I used this 13 Fishing Concept TXZ. I bought this for $259. No, this is actually $259 to $69 retail, but I bought this for on my other video. I have another video on my channel for about $120 bucks, $119 or something like that. through Amazon warehouse, and again, it's either refurbished or return goods that they can't no longer sell as a brand new. And I think I don't think it's refurbished. I looked at it carefully. I opened it up, and I examined it, and it's definitely brand new. It doesn't seem like it's not over greased or anything. And then they use this, they don't use bearing, right? For 13 Fishing does not use bearing. That's one of the big reason for, the big draw for 13 Fishing is that they use this thing called CZB. So it's this little thing right here. I don't know what they call it, but it doesn't corrode according to their description. Most bearing, again, I'm talking about not high-end reels, right? But lower or mid-end ball bearings are not waterproof, salt waterproof, or there's not much salt waterproof stuff, but they'll corrode. These won't. So that's one of the draw for these kind of reels, and it's constructed specifically for saltwater. So here's another one. See, here where you would normally see a ball bearing, you see this thing, the CZB technology instead. And I really like this reel a lot, just because, let me see, first of all, it was super light. Like, I think I'm gonna let my daughter use this next time, because this was much lighter. Maybe I would put a power handle on here, but it was really light. Fits on your hand. And then I believe I put about 200 meter of line, so that's more than enough lines for any deep sea fishing up to 300 feet, 500 feet, pretty much. And this is supposed to have, I think, 19 pounds of drag. And surprisingly, this is also made in Korea. So again, like I said, Korean made reels have really high quality control, in my opinion. Unfortunately doesn't have a drag clicker, but it does have this clicker sound here, star drag, as well as your spool tension right here. And it has this little nail filing thing. I don't know what that's for. Maybe for your fishing hook. I don't know, it's kind of cool. But yeah, overall I really liked it. I was able to pull up a lot of fish. It was nice and smooth. I love the handle. It was good fishing. I love the color for if you have a girlfriend who likes Tiffany blue, I guess, or Tiffany green, whatever they call it. This is one of those Tiffany color, so it's kind of nice. Nice feel. CZB technology. I recommend it. But overall, they're all good reels. This is kind of my favorite, but I enjoyed using this. But that's about it.